remembering the life of Cleophas Sensei T Jacobs II. Cleophas T Jacobs II, affectionately known by his parents and siblings as Sonny, was born September 7, 1930 to the late Cleophas T Jacobs I and Agatha Jacobs, formerly Samuel, in Brooklyn, New York. As a child, Cleophas enjoyed and mastered the art as a classical pianist from the young age of 7 to 18. Though he never won an award for 2 first-place title wins, he still felt like a winner with the result of a draw. Cleophas's first stint at employment was at the age of 14 in 1994 at the world-famous restaurant Junior's Cheesecake, named at that time Enduro's Restaurant. He then went on to join the U.S. National Guard, where he snuck in at the age of 15 and served in the 3rd Battalion Company B for 2 years. Upon discharge from the U.S. National Guard, Uncle Cleo worked as a mucker in Brooklyn at the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel for 5 years. During that time, he met and then married Doris Jacobs, formerly Fuller, in 1953. The marriage created a union that brought forth 7 children. In 1977, the union between Cleophas and Anne Campbell brought his 8th child. From the period of 1952 to 1956, Uncle Cleo worked as a longshoreman alongside his dad, Cleophas I, the president of the ILA Brooklyn chapter, local number 968, where he fought against discrimination and the injustices of prejudice. Uncle Cleo wouldn't stop there, began taking a strong interest in the arts of martial arts from 1958 to 2013, where he demonstrated a strong skill, then later mastered the art of jiu-jitsu, combat and self-defensive skills. He traveled the world in martial arts tournaments, including Japan, California, and a host of other countries and states, where he would become professor of his trade, earning the lifelong title of sensei. Uncle Cleo attended and graduated from Franklin K. Lane High School in Jamaica, Queens, New York, 1948. He mastered the craft of a designer knitter at Amberton Knitting Mills in Queens between 1960 and 1977, where he walked in the door without any knowledge of knitting, but his worldly knowledge of most everything he came across afforded him the opportunity to walk out the door in 1960, hired on the spot. He later in life, between 1989 and 1990, acquired his license as a real estate agent at John Jay University in Queens, New York. Uncle Cleo moved from New York City to Tampa, Florida in 1995, where he took on a new trade as a stagehand with the IATSE Local Union number 321 from 1996 to the year 2010, and resided until he was called home. Not only was Uncle Cleo a pianist, he loved all genres of music and dance. His love of all genres in music and dance were passed down to his children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. Throughout his life, Cleophas practically mastered the knowledge of all and any subject in God's creation. If he didn't know the answer to a question you asked, which was very rare, by the end of the day, you would have an extensive write-up of the question posed earlier. Uncle Cleo was preceded in death by both his parents, Cleophas I and Agatha, his sisters, Olga, Naomi, and Ethel, his beloved son, Byron E. Jacobs. He is survived by his children, Denise D. Jacobs, Cleophas Kassim III, Maria McCoy, Asanta Jacobs, Sojourner Jacobs, Tima Horton, the wife of Keith Horton, and Kwame, Milton and Robin, children by way of nephew and niece, and Daryl Madison, who was a student but like a son to him, brought to him at 11 years old by Mother Lubaba. Grandchildren, Tamika, Latoya, Makita, Shanta, Tasha, Monique, Shahad, Isaiah, Tanisha, Kasim, Rashida, Denisha, Byron, Michael, Paula, Makai, Jacob, Alex, Jeremiah, Ethan, and lastly Amir, who daddy/grandpa raised like his own, mentored and had countless conversations and heartfelt visits. 28 grandchildren and 28 great-grandchildren and 5 great-great-grandchildren. Cousins Phyllis Jacobs, Douglas Samuel Stewart, Deborah Jacobs, and Reuben Jacobs. His oldest lifelong surviving friend of over 70 years, Mr. Stacy Hines, who knows him as Blood, and a multitude of friends and family, the martial arts and UNIA family, the countless people he has mentioned and passed wisdom to, all who will miss his wisdom, knowledge, and long talks tremendously. I spent 8 days of my adult life with Uncle Cleo, and we spent a lifetime together in those 8 days. Like everyone has already said, conversations with him go on until the clock doesn't work anymore. He met me where I was at. You would think a man of such age would not be hip to the things of the day, but he was there. He knew everything that was going on. He knew how to use his cell phone. I was surprised to get a text message and a picture from him, things like that. There was so much said in our conversations with each other and so much shared. One of the things, though, that he shared between us, I'm going to share with you all. It's kind of like the essence of who he was in the lifetime that he and I spent together. And as I share this essence with you, I just ask that everyone sit in silence and reflect on your memories of him and the different things that he shared with you and how that essence made its way into your hearts and souls. So, I'm sure everyone knows he was a great fan of jazz music, and one of the things that he shared with me when we spent our birthdays together this past September was a song by a gentleman named John Coltrane called Equinox. And he had me sit there with him, and we sat in silence listening. So I'm going to play that song now.